Yeah, much better. Much better.
Okay, y'all. How y'all doing out there tonight on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon about to turn into something terrible? But welcome to another session of Wind Down Wednesday with Keisha. Tonight we're going to have a powerful discussion on Eve versus Lilith. And of course, I wasn't drinking last week, but now I'm back into the drinking well. So I have my nice glass of Coppola here. It's a nice red Cabernet. Lord, I can't even speak. Cabernet Sauvignon. Usually I have the picture up, but the pictures were kind of small. But this is the brand. This one is also reasonable. It's about 19, about maybe $22. Um, the hints of this wine is blackberries, all different types of red berries. And it pairs well with, of course, lamb red meats. And you can always do a nice charcuterie board with it with some nice grapes and cheeses. I don't eat meat, so I would rather the cheeses and the grapes and the fruits on my charcuterie board. And also, it goes well, of course, it's paired well with a good lamb. Y'all know I love a delicious lamb. So today, I had to I'm gonna have to remind these people not to go into too much into the Bible. But come on, everybody, and let's join in and pour you a glass of wine and let's get into this topic. So tonight we're going to be talking about like the modern day woman in relationship dynamics through how the two, I want to say the two ladies often mention in conversation about femininity. So Lilith and Eve have always been, well, mostly Eve. I want to say she's the most popular one, where we refer to and going into the Bible again as someone that was supposed to be loyal and submissive to her husband. So on that note, I'm gonna let Justin tell y'all a little bit about Lilith and how, I think both women were powerful, but I'm gonna let him get into who Lilith was.
All right, what's up, y'all? I'm Justin. For those of you who don't know me, I've been on the show like the last 3 shows, something like that. Um, just real quick before I get into her origin story, I'm a writer. My pen name's August Knight, and the books that I have out on Amazon right now that's available are actually centered around Lilith's entire mythology. So I'm no expert on Lilith, but I've known about her for a while, and like I said, I done wrote some fictional books centered around her mythology. So I do have some knowledge um, of her origins. And if you guys want to go check it out on Amazon, here it is. I Am Human, Sisters of a Serpent. There's volume 1, volume 2, and volume 3. And I'm currently writing some other books inspired her by her mythology. So that's that. Another thing I want to point out is notice how I use the word mythology. Okay, so I think it's very important before I get into the origin that the concept, I'm gonna use the concept because people have their feelings about whether these stories are true or not. So I'm just saying the concept of Eve is more biblical because she is in the Bible. Okay, Lilith, in contrast, and to unpopular belief, Lilith is not in the Bible. The Bible mentions the word Lilith, which is in I think like Isaiah chapter 34 somewhere, but the Lilith that they're referring to in the Bible doesn't say anything about her being a woman, nothing about her being Adam's first wife, none of that. They're describing some creature that like runs the night or something like that, but it has nothing to do with the Lilith that we're about to discuss today. The Lilith we're discussing today is actually from Jewish mythology. And if you go, the book is called, I think it's Ben Sira, like some Jewish book that was written centuries after the Bible was written. So for people who, I know people who mention Lilith, I never heard of her in the Bible because she's not in the Bible. The word Lilith is in the Bible, but it's not the Lilith that we're talking about today. So anywho, let me get into the origin of this woman that we're talking about, because everybody, I'm pretty sure 99.9% of people heard of Eve, especially if you're Christian, Catholic, you're in that religion. So we know, everybody knows the story of Eve. Adam and Eve, the tree of life, the tree of knowledge, they ate from it, blah, 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 blah. They got punished, and here we are. Okay, so here's a little story, and there's just like the Bible, there's all different type of interpretations of the story in that, but I'm going to give you guys the most popular one and the best one for me to tell as far as it relates to our topic today. Okay, so unlike in the book of Genesis in the Bible, in the biblical Christian Bible, God creates Adam, and then he was lonely. So from Adam, he created Eve. In Jewish mythology, God creates Adam and Lilith at the same time, from the same soil, from the same dust, from the same earth, therefore creating them as equals. Okay, so they're in the Garden of Eden. In the book of Genesis, they say that God tells Adam, he tells man, don't eat from this tree of knowledge. Okay, so in the Lilith story, let's just say he is now telling that to God and Lilith, because this is not Eve here. This is Lilith. Okay. So they're like, okay, cool. They have a bunch of babies to spread out into the garden. One day, Lilith is walking in the garden by her lonesome, and Satan, the devil, whatever you want to refer to him as, comes to Lilith and says, hey, why does Adam feel like he's like the boss of you? Why he's like running around thinking he's above you? And she's like, you're absolutely right. Like, why is that? So she goes back to Adam and says, hey, I don't like the way you treat, and mind you, I'm paraphrasing, by the way. This is not, this is coming out of my own words. So, Lilith goes back to Adam and says, hey, what's up with this? Like, why you treat me like I'm below you? He's like, you are below me. That's why when we have sex, I'm on top. So Lilith then says, okay, from now on, you not going to be on top. We're not having sex if I got to be at the bottom. He's like, well, tough titty. It is what it is. So she gets upset. She leaves the Garden of Eden. She's like, dude, F you, I'm out of here. So I think she said in the Jewish book, she goes out to like the Red Sea somewhere. Adam goes complain to Sky Daddy. Hey, bro, the woman you made for me, she just left me. She ain't listening. So God says, okay, bro, I'm gonna handle that. He sends 3 angels. I forgot their names. They all start with an S though. He sends 3 angels out of the garden to go talk to Lilith. They go to Lilith and say, hey, God told us to tell you to bring your ass back to your husband and go back to the garden. He was like, nah, y'all don't know what's going on. Like, he treat me bad. He think he above me, blah, blah, blah. They're like, yo, we hear you. But look, God just told us to come get you and bring you back to the garden. She says, no, go tell God, I ain't going back. So God then comes personally and tells her like, hey, look, you either go back or I'm going to kill. The number changes. Some say it's like 10,000 of her children every day, but we just go stick to the number 100. God threatens her and says, hey, I ain't trying to hear nothing what you talking about. You either go back to your husband and go back to the garden, or I'm going to kill 100 of your children every day. So now Lilith's looking at God like, oh, you taking his side? Screw both of y'all. Gave them both the middle finger like, yo, I ain't ever going back. Okay, now, there's not that much. We pause the story there. There's not a lot. That's why Lilith is so obscure. Like I said, she's not biblical. She's mythical. She's folklore. this, even in where I'm getting my story from, it's only like a paragraph or two, and Lilith is like no longer discussed after that. There are like myths to where she's the demonic wife of Satan, and like she hunts pregnant women and steals their babies and all this other stuff. And I'm gonna tell you where they get that from in a little bit. But now from the story I just gave you, let's now apply that to the rest of the Adam and Eve story. So once again, where do we leave off? Lilith told God and Adam, screw you, I ain't going nowhere. God goes back to Adam. Adam says, hey, what happened? He's like, bro, she ain't coming back. She ain't coming. She ain't listening. Blah, blah, blah. So Adam like, bro, you God. Like, what you mean she ain't coming back? Like, bro, you like, well, what's up? He said, yo. I got this. I'm going to take care of her. I'm God. I'm all powerful. I got this. He said, look. And like I said, as I'm telling the story, tell me what story makes sense. God tells Adam, hey, I'm going to make you another woman. And you ain't going to have to deal with the stuff that you just had to deal with Lilith. When I make this woman, she ain't questioning nothing. She going to be perfect. Ain't none of this back and forth. So Adam's like, that's a good ass idea. So to me, in the book of Genesis, where apparently Adam was lonely, so then God created Eve from his rib. That's kind of like, but now with this story, with this folklore and this story of Lilith, now it's giving God an actual reason besides man is lonely to create Eve, right? So he creates Eve from Adam's ribs. Like, look, I'm gonna craft this woman now to naturally be submissive to you. So that's how Eve comes along. Now, once again, I'm paraphrasing here, but this makes sense. And like, this is not the absolute story from this point on, but this is interpretations, translations, and what people think happened because of this. So now Lilith is wherever she is. She sees this. She's looking over in the garden like, who's this new? Who this new chick? Like, nah, I ain't having none of that. So she goes back to Satan now. That's where they get the connection when TV, movies, TV shows, when they do depictions and adaptations of Lilith, she's always this mean, evil woman who has some type of romantic relationship with Lucifer, Satan, the devil, whatever you want. So that's where this comes from. She goes to Satan and says, bro, you was right. This whole time you was right, man. Like, blah, blah, blah. So Satan's like, look, hey, like, me and you now, it's me and you. And it's like, all right, cool. So she gets these demonic powers from Satan. Then she's like, okay, I'm going to fix their asses. He then turns into the serpent that they mentioned in the book of Genesis, goes into the garden, gets Eve alone by herself and says, hey, you know that feeling that you feel inside that this man is above you, that he runs stuff? Yeah, I certainly do. Well, you don't have to feel that way no more because I got some intel. Ooh, really? What's the intel? And you that tree, because let me not get ahead of myself. Let me keep going to the story. I got some. You see that tree over there? You eat from that fruit, you go feel just like man. You go feel just like Adam. You go feel just like God. You go feel like you just you as equal as them. And we all know the story from that point on. Okay.
Yeah, where y'all start blaming Eve and saying that it was her fault because they have sinned. That's where we leave off in the story.
Oh, it's definitely, look. And like I said, we go keep it today. We go keep it. I'm gonna try to refrain as far away from the biblical text and my feelings on it, just to stick to the topic of the show. But let me tell the audience something that I had to tell my dad earlier, that a lot, like 99.9% of religious people, Christians, Catholics, don't even understand what I'm about to say. For some reason, most theists, religious people believe that God told both, listen to what I'm saying, both Adam and Eve not to eat from the tree of knowledge. That is wrong. That is false. And if you think I'm lying, go look it up in the scripture in Genesis. It lays out in order. God creates man. He created Adam. He then tells man, that's the word they use, man, which we're going to assume here is Adam, because we're thinking that's the only dude on planet Earth right now, because God just created him. He then tells Adam, you can eat from every tree in this garden except for this one. Meaning, Eve was not created yet. He never gave that direct command to Eve. Now, Eve does go later back in Genesis. I forgot the chapter. When the serpent comes to her, she does admit that God said, do not eat from this tree. So it is implying that she ended up getting the message somehow, which we're going to just assume that her husband at the time was the one who told her, like, hey, look, don't eat from that tree. But I still think it is important to say that she did not directly get this command from God. And anybody thinks I'm making this up, like I said, just go read the scripture. Go read it for yourself and see in order. This command is giving to Adam after he creates Adam, and he creates Eve after. He doesn't give the command again after he creates Eve. So Eve never heard this command directly from God. She only heard it from Adam. And so to me, he could have been lying. He could have, who knows? If I'm Eve, I'm like, yo, just because you told me that this other person told me not to do this, I don't know. Now you got this snake in here telling me that I shouldn't be feeling this way, and I'm gonna feel like you if I go eat this. So I give her some leeway if you want to be honest. That's just me personally.
Okay, just let the woman get away, huh?
Yeah, she also was punished harsher when God didn't even give her the direct command. That's why women have painful childbirth now. And in the scripture, one of the punishments is man will rule over you. So that's why I say, if you want to go off the Bible, every woman by DNA, by natural, everything in you, you're naturally submissive. It's inside you. That's part of the sin. If we want to go biblical. So all these women, I don't want to be submissive and blah, blah, blah. You don't have to be, but if you're religious, if you're a Christian, you're going against God's will, because this is God's commands. This is his words in the Bible. Man is going to rule over you. Now, once again, we live in 2026 where people want to have their own interpretations of what God said, but it's clear as day, man rules over you. Now, you could twist that word however you want it to mean rule, but I think we all know really what rule means. Go look up in the definition. Now, I'm not on God's and Adam's side with this. I think that was a crazy thing to do. I don't think that, especially with the information I just gave, where Eve didn't directly get this command from God himself. She did not hear him say this. I don't think she should be punished at all. If anything, Adam responsible, because, bro, you need to look your woman, bro. As soon as she put her hand on that shit, you should have been. You like to do all of us. Yo, what is you doing? But his dumb ass went and ate it too right after she ate it. So that just goes to show you how stupid
that y'all are not meant to lead. That's what it shows. That y'all are weak-minded individuals, and you are not meant to lead. I mean, first of all, I'm gonna go back to this. First of all, Adam and Eve, they were created from Adam's rib, which we talked about earlier, which meant they were supposed to be equal. Okay, so the household is, there's no such thing as the head of the household, you being led by man. If I'm made from your rib and we supposed to be equal, then we equal. Then second of all, Adam failed to lead in the first place because every day they was in their damn garden together, walking, holding hands, picking flowers, picking fruits, getting their food, and everything else. On this particular day, so this particular one day, Eve is by herself. She's not with her soulmate. She's not with the person she's supposed to be connected with, which means that Adam was somewhere with some woman somewhere, probably Lilith, in a garden talking shit to her.
He was reminiscing. And
then on top of that, when after Eve was introduced to the damn apple, Adam already knew what that apple possessed. All she told him is, look, the man told me if we eat this apple, baby, we gonna have intelligence. We gonna really get to know each other. We gonna be wealthy. She filled his head up with all kinds
Manipulation by the woman as always. And he just felt,
but he had a choice.
Okay, baby.
He had a choice to
baby.
say no. He had a choice to say no, but yet still, he was like, hey, why should she have all the fun? I want to have fun too. So what his dumb ass do? He go and bite off the apple. Now you supposed to be leading the household, but yet you still you're following behind the woman because that is your choice to do that. That's why. I mean, and I'm gonna go to this. Like Eve was made, and what it's about. Eve was in partnership.
Unmute your mic. Come on, girl, say something.
Eve was about partnership. She was about building together. That was Bonnie and Clyde. So she was riding with her man. On the other hand, Lilith was like, this dumbass nigga, I ain't doing all this shit with him. I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to prosper more. I could do more by myself. Look, she done went on. She done got powers. She done got a more powerful man that's giving her the loot. You understand? She got the bigger bag in her eyes. I got the bigger bags. I don't have no rules I got to follow. I can do whatever I want to do. I could walk around naked with my hair flowing.
Yep, and she's single and unhappy, going to the devil. Single and unhappy and miserable. Miserable because he got him a better one now.
There's pros and cons.
Well, if she went to the devil, he could sing and he was beautiful. So, I mean, he was shining. He was shining bright for her, if that's the case. If the story you gonna go with.
But I mean, people is all hypothetical now. We just making ideas. I mean, this is such a beautiful depiction of the Bible. This is the best I've ever heard. But I mean, it's real talk.
And Adam wasn't doing his job anyway for either one, because why would they not happy? Why would they not content? Anyway, why would they need to feel as though he's treating them wrong or he's treating them superior to make them feel that way? So
I don't know, it was them, it was her. Woman ain't never happy. That's what they say, happy wife, happy life, but the wife ain't never happy. Ask any man.
That's not true.
He was bored.
Oh,
he said, I need a party up in here. What is happening? I see Lilith over there because according to Justin, she done already met Lilith. Lilith doing a damn thing. Lilith running through the gardens with minks on, with stilettos, with sunshades on, with a weave and a BBL. And I'm walking around here with nothing. I don't even have clothes. I got a rag. I got to use my hair to cover my body. I'm cool. What is he doing? Like, Lilith was looking for the store.
Okay.
Well, you could argue that Eve was too.
Yeah.
Because like you said, for some reason, and like I said, I'm giving her a pass because according to the scripture, God never directly tells her. That's like if I grew up with 4 other brothers and sisters, and after a certain time, we couldn't even go in the kitchen. Like, look, 8 y'all could eat. You go get your snack or whatever. At 8 o'clock, nobody in the kitchen. So if my brother told me, like, yo, mama said or dad said, don't touch that pot roast in the, I don't care what you telling me until mom and dad tell me this. I'm gonna do what it do. So for her not to get that direct command from God, like. And I know, and I think you said something interesting. You said when God created Eve from Adam's rib, that made them equal. But remember, if we're just sticking to the concept of the stories that we talking about today, then that ain't even true, because he specifically made Eve so this Lilith shit wouldn't happen. The crazy part about that is it still happened. it still end up happening. So with that kind of, so it's like, yo, women, you women ain't ever happy, or you can't create the perfect woman. If anything, he made her worse.
He tried to make us submit to do what he say. The Bible say, do what he say.
Yeah.
Man, just say.
But I don't really think that it has anything to do with, like women or the perfect woman. Because I mean, there's no perfect woman, like there's no perfect man.
The perfect man,
but
right?
Just like that, but it's just the idea of Lilith. She represents like independence, autonomy. She's refusing to be controlled. She's standing in her own power, So it's like, I just feel like in today's society, independent women are so misunderstood in today's society, because I hate that word alpha female. If you're independent, I think that there's no such, I mean, we all can be out. We all have alpha female in us. I mean, I feel like as a child at 12 years old, I was made to be an alpha female because I had to take care of my brothers and sisters. I had to manage the household. I had to make, like, it's a role reversal thing from adult to child. And if a child has to take on an adult role and take care of things in the household when your parents don't get off till 8 o'clock at night, you're a latchkey kid. You have to manage the household. You got to make sure y'all have something to eat. By the time I was 12, I knew how to cook red beans, fried chicken, had full meals. I used to call my cousins and my sisters to the table. I'll be like, let's play restaurant. I would cook them whatever we had in the refrigerator. I used to cook and serve them, and fried French fries, chicken, hamburgers, all that kind of stuff. But that's an adult's job.
Yeah.
To do that. So the thing is, if I'm doing all of these things, I'm babysitting, I'm automatically being put in a leadership role. So I really taught leadership skills at that time frame. And as I said, some leaders are born and some leaders are made. And that's something from childhood that you are trained to do, to step into that role as a leader. So, and on the other hand, you have where you got Eve, where people say she's more about partnership. She's a more nurturing woman because she represents a more softer side of a woman. She's willing to build together with her man. She knows how to give that emotional support. The emotional support is being submissive to your mate from a female's perspective, because it's more than just serving your man and standing by your man. Being that emotional support for your man is more being submissive, because as a social worker, I have to submit my everyday life to other motherfucker problems.
Well, this is what I would say when I have these discussions outside of this show with other friends and stuff. When we bring up like a word, I always stop them and say, "Hey, let's get on the same page with what we can all come to an agreement with what this word means." So if we're talking about submission, like we need to, because you say submission, everybody got their own definition of what submission is. So submission to me, without giving you a Webster dictionary version of it, quick example, like I was telling my dad earlier, submission is more, you're going against, it's putting your desires here and whoever you submitting to desires and wants here. That's really what it boils down to. And to give you a quick little simple example of that, I don't know if any of y'all got dogs, but we know somebody who got a dog and somebody who knows somebody who got a dog. Dogs are very territorial and possessive of their owners and humans. So when you go to a house where they got dogs and they hear another car they don't recognize or some footsteps, or they hear that doorbell go off, the first thing they do is start barking, run into that door, try to break that thing down to get to who they think is violating and trespassing. That is a dog's natural instinct all the time, 100% of the time. It'd be the little chihuahuas up into the pit bulls. They don't care how little or how big. The owner, when they hear that, they'll be like, "Hey," or they'll call the dog's name. Instantly, most of the time, that dog shut up. That dog either shut up, they might not leave the door, they still keep it out, but they owner says something, boom, I'm listening. That's the simplest form of my definition of submission. My natural instinct is telling me to do this 100% of the time. But this person I'm submitting to just gave me an order, just gave me a command. Boop, shut down instantly. I don't got to think about it. I don't got to weigh the pros and cons. I don't got to think, oh, well, maybe. No, dogs just boom. This my owner said, blah, blah, blah. I'm submitting. I'm submitting there. So when I look at it from a relationship standpoint between man and woman, because a woman could be submissive to a man could be submissive to a woman. It's okay. I want this. But he or she wants this, and he or she is telling me this is what we're gonna do. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. So the nurturing aspect of all that, I feel like that's not, to me, that's not as more submission as is if like submission when it comes to me is an order, something that was, hey, we're doing X, Y, and Z, or X, Y, or Z, and hey, you pretty much don't got a dog in this fight. You have no options. We're doing what we say. And when you look at a lot of these housewives that don't work, and they do, I see them all the time. I can spot a housewife when I see a woman with a baby stroller just going down the street. I'm like, she don't got shit else to do. I'm not saying, look, I don't want to, all the women out there that want their babies destroyed, I'm not coming at y'all. I know I'm wrong in some cases. They all women out there. Like, yo, what you? You got that?
About 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock in the middle of the daytime must be.
It's like, yo, you should be at work right now. They walking the baby and stuff, blah, blah, blah. So it's like, okay. I feel like a lot of housewives, like, they have submitted to their husband, and so that doesn't mean that they got fully control. I'm not talking about this in a sense of you're gonna do what I say, or I'm the consequences of X, Y, Z. But they said, hey, I trust you to have almost unyielding control of my life. I'm gonna go where you lead me, and that takes trust. That I'm guaranteed that ain't happen on the first date, but that's submission to me. Like, hey, look, babe, I'm quitting my job. I'm gonna take all of our life savings and I'm gonna invest it in this food truck. I'm going to get the permits, blah blah blah. And her saying she may have some, I don't think that, blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, she already know this is what we doing. There ain't no talking him out. They ain't no, I could try to give my little input, but hey, this is what we doing. And she and she know that. That's what submission is to me. It's not just, hey, we going to Red Lobster and we ain't, it's more than that to me. It's you literally saying, hey, I'm going against my own desires and my natural instinct to follow you. Now, where you about to take me? You know what I'm saying? So that's what I think submission is.
I mean, a lot of trust is involved in just submission, I guess. I mean, could I submit to more? I guess I could. I mean, I guess we do it all the time. I gave him an example one time, a long time ago. I was in character and something happened. I got out of character. My food came out, my personality, and I heard a voice in back of my, hey, Larry. That was my ex-wife. I stopped immediately because she brought me back to where I needed to be instead of where I was going with this. So I submitted to that voice, knowing that that voice had my best interest. So I guess we submit in both ways. And that's when that 50-50 relationship we was talking about before comes in. I mean, we submit on both sides to what we want to submit to, I guess.
But I think
go ahead.
That's what a relationship is all about. Like submitting, like we were talking about last week about 50-50. Like a relationship is about the two people submitting to each other, not just one person having full control. But I think in today's society, with most of the guys, even guys in my age bracket, like if you make more money than me, and I think most of them, they kind of cater towards younger women, especially these men. And I know y'all talked about this one time before about men don't really care what a woman has. But I think the more the man has, the more equity he has to offer, the less I mean, a woman is totally submitting to that relationship for the wrong reasons, because she's totally codependent upon that person to take care of her well-being. And for me, as an educated woman, I can't phantom being with someone that's not equally yoked with me. And that means somebody that's able to bring something to the table. I would be crazy to go and date a man that has never owned a house, and I have owned 2 houses. He's never worked. I don't mind a hustler. I don't mind you making money the way however you're gonna make money, but I need to know that we are equally yoked. And if I happen to fall and I can't go no more, that your ass can support me, and not because I need you to do that while I'm dating you. And I mean, it should be vice versa. If my man, he owns a house or we buy a house together, I should be able to pay all the bills in that house if something happens to my partner.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where
you're weighing all the yoke on finances. I mean, hey, that's where you're gonna go 100% wrong.
But I'm not basing it. That's only one part of a relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, is a major part of any relationship. We're not gonna be homeless together. But if we gotta be homeless together, we both gonna be survivors in this game. You understand? I'm not gonna be out here homeless trying to get us housed, and your ass still drugging on the streets, hanging out and being in trap houses and stuff. I see this kind of stuff happening every day. But security, and I want to say security and trust, and being I wanted to say another word, but it's security, trust, being on the same page as to where we are emotionally with each other. All of that plays a major part in being equally yoked with somebody. And when you go back to talking about Lilith and Eve, like both women can embody the same things.
Exactly. That's one that can be one person. My question would be, why do we need to use the word submit or submissive? Because for me, in a relationship, we're both supposed to honor and respect each other. Just period. And knowing what each other's best in and letting each other lead whichever it comes to play. Because when describing submitting and submissive as comparing to ownership and following blindly, I would never be submissive. That's just it. Because I'm going to have some questions. I'm going to have an opinion about something because I'm not an idle, blind idiot. You understand? So you're going to have your brain, you're going to have your thoughts. So it will never be that. And my partner should respect my opinion. My partner should want my input. They should never want to just say, I make this decision and this is what we're going to do. That comes with respecting and honoring each other.
So if you go with the original text of Lilith and Adam, that was the problem.
Say that again.
If you go back to the original of Lilith and Adam, that was the problem. Adam must not have respected her.
He didn't. He said, I'm the big dog because I'm on top. You know what I'm saying? Or it was not the concept of, well, sometimes you can be on top too. But that goes in back to the storylines of my opinions on those is just, white supremacy and misogyny. Those stories come from men trying to make women think that they're less than, and it's automatic that they're supposed to be superior. And that's where that submissive word comes from. And the documenting to say, hey, that woman that was headstrong or had an opinion who didn't want to listen, she went and became a demon, and she killing babies and taking babies. So just totally you're demonizing a woman. That's no different than what they did to Eve as well, trying to say she was the downfall of everyone. So that automatically puts that place of women are less than women. My mind just goes on to the whole how everything is brought in together back to me from all those stories. When it comes down to women, it's about white supremacy and misogyny. And it's the concept of us as African Americans, you know, our whole world wraps around Big Mama, matriarchy. You know, like our world has always been about women, the opinion of women, and women handling most things. Men work and brought the check to the woman, and the woman handled everything, you know. And even before that, just before it was even with the villages and things, it was certain things that they went to the medicine women, they went to the you know, elders that a lot of times had the women as the elders and leaders. And for me, I mean, I joke back and forth with men specifically because I say women are the smartest. They had the ideas. They did all this, and men were meant to go protect and provide. So y'all were built to go hunt, build houses, and farm, and get the food. And women were meant to do everything else. So that's why when I be like, women are superior, you know, I'm a play, but you know, if we go into the rhetoric of it, you know, we can go down to the fact that it is certain societies where it is matriarchal. But even come to the point of thinking, let's think about bloodlines and in the fact of how we take a man's name and the child takes the man's name. One thing for sure, when a child is born, you know, the mother is that child's mother, right? But you don't know if that man is that child's father. You don't know that. So why should it automatically be lineage to the male when that might even be your child? You know, but that goes back into property and name, you know.
That's a more governmental like type.
But but it was about taking the property, because you know that's no different. Because the same way with women, with the witch trials when they were burning the witches and everything, that was about property. You know, it was about them taking control of property, the widows and things of that nature. So, I think the world is upside down because women ain't in charge. That's what I think. I think the world is screwed right now. The energies is off everything because we let white supremacy tell us what we want to do. We let the Europeans come over here and say, do it like this. You know,
submission, I had to look it up. It dated back 4,500 years. The word term submission, the term submission. 500 years. So I guess that puts it in play to when submission came about and they were telling women submit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, was saying, I guess,
but because you know the women knew about the herbs, they knew so much. And I you know, with what's going on in the world right now, I always be like, man, these goddamn jealous ass white men is stupid as hell. And then they sit back, but they in charge of everything. You understand? It's more of them in the government, all the CEOs, because when you think about it, that's why they attack Black women, because Black women in the United States are the most educated, period. You know, and that's been, you know, they've been documenting that since like 2014, talking about that. We're in 2026. But see, something came out in the end of
intelligent woman.
What you say?
Ain't nothing more beautiful than a beautiful, intelligent Black woman.
There we go. As well as a Black man. Nothing more beautiful than that. You understand? Intelligent Black man. And they know that we are superior in all things. And that's why it's all these attacks. So that's why I say the world is in the upside down, because they should have never been in charge, especially not white men. Goddamn. Because it's like, how are you 95% of all the CEOs of corporations? And you're idiots.
Well, that's a simple, even though I'm not disagreeing with you, that's a simple answer for that. For example, you always get the they make some movie and they're like, why aren't there more Black actors in this movie? Why is this a Black person not playing this superhero? All right, who came up with Who's funding it? If it's the white, they go. That's like you don't go to Japan or China and be like, why aren't there more black people in this movie?
Exactly. This is their little island. This is their little island. You know. They came and took over, and they never expected us to be where we are. They always wanted us to be enslaved and serve them. So now it's at the point where everything's busting out the seams, because even though we were held back and brutalized for so many years, they see still how superior we are. And that's fearful for them. Everything has been about jealousy and knowing when you can recognize something in someone else and feel like you don't have it or know you don't have it. But like they're genetic mutations of us anyway, so they lacking a little bit of something anyway.
Absolutely. But Mel, I want to say this. So I this is what I feel. I feel like because African American women have always been an intelligent species, they know who we are. I think that our African American men, they have adapted to this scenario where they need to keep their foots on our neck to somehow try to control us.
Proximity.
How nurturing we are, and then when we are rebellious, then we are called alpha females. Like, no, you're not doing this to me. I'm not submitting to this. But being that the American culture has always degraded our black men.
Yeah.
Degraded the black women, and then some women, depending on your color and your beauty, you are honored in the white household regardless of your complexion. You still have some control. But I think everything that we learn, from Lilith to Eve, but everything that we've learned thus far has come from one specific culture.
Absolutely.
Even our men trying to control us as African American women, in a relationship in relationships, and I meet some guys and even from when, and I'm speaking about my child's dad, he was a loving person. I loved him to death. But as I became more educated, that became a problem in my household, because it's like he didn't see it where he can control me. And the women that he cheated with was always less educated than me. So I was always wondering, like, hey, I'm doing all of this to pour into our household so we can be we can be a part of this capitalist society, make money, bring money into the household. This man is not even receiving. This is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to lift us up. But then you want to call me a rebellious female. I'm being managed because I'm trying to bring us up and out into a different tax bracket. And you
men do not care about none of that shit. I'm being completely honest with you. Wait. Hold on, because I might catch some slack. I got people who not watching live right now, but they go watch it after they get off work, and I already know I'm about to hear it from them. But I gotta say this. I got to say it, because don't shoot the messenger. A lot of people, we in these like debates and stuff, we say we say what we feel and how we feel, and I completely understand. We human, we got emotions, but I choose. And I've chosen probably 10 years ago, I decided to choose to live in this reality. And what I mean by that is, if I go outside tomorrow and I look up into the sky and the sky is blue, like it has always been my entire life, but I go on Facebook and everybody's talking about how the sky has turned red, I'm going to go back and look. No, the sky, hey man, when the sky turned red, man, you don't see that? Look up there. I'm looking, the sky blue. The point I'm trying to make is, no matter what I think, how I feel, what I thought was evidence before, reality now says 99.9% of people on Facebook saying, hey, the sky is red. And they done came out, Trump done came, say the sky is red. Guess what? I got to change. The sky is now red. It is reality. So,
no,
the reality is, you can't never go off what these men or women say that they want. I have this thing that I like to do is I don't care two craps about what a woman says she wants. I worry about what they respond to. So you could be saying, I want this, this, and that, but I've seen you with this, this, and that, and you acted this way, or you acted that way. So guess what? Now I know, hey, I need to act. I saw when she was messing with this dude, or when she was doing this way, she responded positively to this and responded negative to this, even though this is what she said she wanted. Okay, well, I need to act this way. I don't care about what I want. I don't care about what I need to go this way. So this whole thing about you got to listen when a man saying this is what this is. Like I said, take it with a grain of salt, but see how he operates. For like in your example, you was giving him your all, you was giving him 100% of you, but you feel like he wasn't receiving that. Is it because he was this is what I would say is one, but you're not acting like that? And I'm saying this to say, men, they cheat and do these crazy things for one reason and one reason only. Compared to women, they got 100,000 different reasons why they'll go out and seek somebody else. But for men, I'm telling you right now, yes, you could probably, well, this guy over here was different. I'm speaking for like in general. Men cheat, and I don't want to use the word, but I am, because pussy was simply offered at that particular time. It could be as simple as that. They had that opportunity. They felt like they was not going to get caught, and they did it. I always say I really feel like a man could be in love and love a woman and still cheat on her, because to them, sex don't have nothing to do. So okay, you're saying
that's
that
bullshit.
cannot be in love. Okay, no. Go ahead. Let me hear what you got to say. I've said enough. I'm gonna give my rebuttal.
I feel that's bullshit because, like you said,
it is.
I call bullshit because you just said that they cheat because it's an opportunity. So then on the other standpoint, what about the ones who have the opportunity is thrown in their face and they still don't do it? You understand? So it's always a choice, regardless. It's always a choice, because just because you have the opportunity, your value, I feel like men cheat because of their insecurities, and they feel like this is giving them one up on that woman, because that goes back to that misogynistic mindset of not being secure in yourself as a man. Because as a man, this, and like we say, feelings, because I feel like if your woman is making more money or trying to make your life successful, better, and it's not disrespecting you at all, you should appreciate that. A lot of men look at when their woman is doing better or doing more, their insecurities make them jealous and feel incompetent, versus this is her job as us being equal to make sure we both are successful. We both have what we need. Once again, respecting and honoring where when one is not able to handle it, the other can do it. And we both work together as a team versus it's competition or trying to prove myself. And this woman can't make more money than me or do better than me. A man's supposed to be able to look at his woman being successful and doing whatever and be proud and happy about that. The same way I'm going to look at my man and be like, look at you, babe. Da 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 da. You know?
Look. Go
on your goals. What if your goals are? What if this man has been reaching and said, "This is where I wanted us to be from day one," and she wants to keep going in this direction? Well, that's not what I want. I don't give a care that.
But what you said, once again, it has to be an agreement.
I said we should have agreed upon this at the beginning of the relationship. Not so in your case, cuz he didn't want what you was giving. Period. He went and got what he wanted. He didn't want all this extra. He didn't want you out there bringing this money. That's not what he wanted from you. That's why he left.
But once y'all went
on the same page. Y'all weren't yoked on that particular page. Y'all were going in the same direction.
We weren't going in the same direction, like you said, because if we had been going in the same direction, baby, we were on mansions right now, but we wasn't.
But he didn't want the mansion.
Listen, you weren't doing anything wrong, though. You weren't doing anything wrong. You weren't doing anything wrong. So that had to do something with him, him lacking.
And from a woman's
not
perspective,
I don't call it lacking.
from a female's perspective,
Cheating on her is freaking lacking because yes, it's freaking lacking. You lacking in your values and respect and all that shit. You're definitely lacking.
Yeah.
Well, hold on, wait. Once again, all of us could sit up here and talk about, because I'm not agreeing with you, but I'm not disagreeing. But once again, this is how we feel. And I can't live because if we live in feelings, then the world, there'll be no starving people in the world. There'll be no crime because we feel like this is how the world should be. We feel like all these good things should be happening, but that's just not.
And reality. It can happen.
But it's a majority. But it's not a.
And it can happen.
It's a majority of women that have, and I'm not going to even say we feel this way, is the ideals of a female and our perspectives. And when a man takes a lesser person, then it's about him feeling insecure within his manhood because he wants to feel in control. A secure man would have a successful wife and be completely happy with that, not have to cheat on his wife, and they're pouring into each other. They're still equally yoked. Money doesn't have anything to do with it.
Just because you're having money and making a job, that's not successful. What is that?
The thing is,
part of it.
Part of it is.
That's what you think success is.
Once again, that's feelings. Like one person may consider being successful.
Every woman that you get with wants to live a good life. Nobody,
comfortably.
If a younger woman is with an older man, or a woman that doesn't, if her ass working at Popeyes and your ass is a multi-millionaire, her main purpose and goal is to live comfortable. That's her first goal.
And that's why I'm saying,
it don't have anything to do with love or anything.
Once again,
you go for it.
Okay, wait. Let me ask y'all this. I make, let's just say, we're gonna take me right now. I make $300,000. I make $300,000 a year. I'm right now in my fantasy world. I make $300,000 a year. I got a good career. Who knows what that career is? Just know that this career, I make $300,000 a year. I don't have any kids. Do you think any woman who gets with me will be living comfortably? Based off what y'all just said. Just quick yes or no.
$300,000 a year.
$300,000.
She would be living, yes, she would be.
Okay, pause right there. Pause with that. That's all. With one example, I can prove that not true. Kim Kardashian would not be living comfortably.
She would. It depends on her
because once again,
but we're talking about us, everyday people.
About the average
idea. But the point I'm trying to make is comfort is different for everybody. For Kim Kardashian, $300,000. I am broke. I am poor. I might as well be homeless.
Because she's coming from being a millionaire status. That changes. The variables have changed in that question when you say a Kim Kardashian versus an everyday working woman. So the variables change.
So, but an everyday working woman, you could be making $300,000 a year, but that doesn't mean you don't come. I could be a domestic violence abuser. But you brought up a great point, the variable. So it's not just about financially. It's not because I have a job, I have a car, I have a house. Comfort means different things to a lot of people. So
yeah, and you ask us.
Yes, I know. And the point I asked you, and the point I'm trying to make is our feelings are just our feelings. We have to live in reality. So you may say,
but our feelings make our reality because our feelings make us move. Yes, it does, because our feelings make us behave in certain ways. Our feelings make us behave in ways that create our reality. Because your behavior and the things you do create your reality.
Your reality, but it is not real. For example, my reality could be there's no crime or homeless people in the world because I don't see them. That's not my reality. But in reality,
that's not real. We're talking about facts versus fiction.
Yes. But but overall, your feelings do lead to your feelings are emotions, and then your emotions lead to whatever your reality or whatever that is for you.
Your
Everyone
behavior
has a different reality, but at the same token, we all have the same goals in life. Is to be comfortable. Even a homeless man is comfortable with it.
I agree with that.
Whatever how he wants to be. But the thing about it is, y'all men are. This is the thing about men. y'all are so tunnel vision on what a man wants, and I'm just speaking in general about all men. Y'all never see the perspectives of the reality of what a woman wants and what a woman is doing. That's why y'all run into these.
Wait. You said what a man wants, and then you go straight to what a woman wants. What about what we want? Because you want what you want, and you just said it 90 minutes.
But I'm not talking about that right now. I'm not talking about that right now. I'm saying the reality.
We want without we want, and if we can't want,
y'all want what y'all want.
It has to be.
Y'all always lined up in a predicament that y'all end up in, which makes y'all not great.
That goes back to honoring and respecting each other. That means you take consideration for each other, and whatever each other wants, you will look into it. Because my thing, if we're talking about relationship, right? For me, my goals, I'm waking up to see how I can make life better for the both of us. I'm always thinking about my husband. That's it. That's my goal. So what's going to be I'm thinking about him when I'm with him, when I'm not with him, like that's what I'm doing. So yes, I expect my husband to be that same way, but that does determine based on the environment he was brought up in, the relationship he's had before. And sometimes what I expect is not always what I'm going to get. But at the same time, if he's willing to learn and grow based on our time together, okay, it's cool. So, but doubling back to the fact of when you say what I want or what she wants, that should never be an issue because I'm thinking about him. He's thinking about me. We covered. And, that's what it's supposed to be. It ain't always that. But it's looking at that's what it's supposed to be. You're right. And a lot of times, because people have so many demons and unhealed things that they aren't able to love themselves properly so they can love others properly, because that comes down to it. You have to be able to love yourself properly and others in order to be selfless, because being that way, when you wake up and say, I'm thinking about the other person that I've chose to join with, that takes selflessness, in consideration. And that goes back to the honoring and respecting each other, because when you do that, the problems that a lot of people allow in relationships aren't there. And we all have room to grow and sometimes we all gonna fall short on shit. Cause I got a temper. I know I do. And for me, I have patience for children and babies. And that's what I have patience for. But for adults, I'd be like, yo, you should know better. You understand? But at the same time, I give people grace because I know everybody don't come from what I come from and know what I know.
Agree. Yeah, so is that submitting to the relationship?
We got a comment.
A form of submission.
Hold on, we got a comment. Tasha said people wake up with different feelings every day. And we do. One day you may feel one way about someone, and the next day you may feel totally different. But it, like you were saying, Larry,
your foundation still be.
Yeah. So I mean, is but going back to, I don't want to say that men, we were talking about men leading the households and where that comes from. Like, and Mel, I think yesterday when we were in our group chat and you were talking about women are superior beings. We are superior beings because I think we kind of process things differently from men. I mean,
we got 10 minutes. We got 10 minutes on this within the show. We got 10 minutes.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think that even looking at from Barack and Michelle Obama, who y'all think was running the country?
I tell you what, she was big enough to knock his butt out, so I guess she was.
It don't matter.
Which is the difference of what we have now and what we had then. See, we don't have a woman leading. We have a man totally leading the country. Even with Clinton, when Bill Clinton was in office, who y'all think was running that household? Who was running that household?
Monica Lewinsky?
She was on her knees. She was on her knees.
She was making life easy. She was making them happy. Life was running everything.
She wasn't running. She wasn't running it right because she told. She could have had her. She could have positioned herself for some real shit. You already on your knees. Come on now, make it work for you.
You wanted that money.
Look. Behind every great man is a good woman.
A great woman, an even better woman.
Yeah,
hey, that's all right. But she's standing behind there helping out.
But he's still a great man.
I understand that, but he's still a great man. She might be a greater woman, but it got to be channeled somewhere. And normally you channel it behind the strength.
Respectfully, because when you see from our culture, and the statues are side by side. It's side by side, not giving reverence to the other. You know, we're supposed to protect each other because women protect spiritually, emotionally, and sometimes the spiritual. Because, baby, like I said, the Psalms, that book right there is a powerful thing. So spiritually, protection and covering is some things that work better than physical sometimes. So we all have our positions. We all play our part. And our society have us in the upside down because we have taken on that structure of thinking that it's us against them. And it's because men are trying their best to have women less than them instead of us working together. But that comes from the crown, your European way, because before we even get to the concept of, you know, the United States with slavery and black people being less than, they would always have a black man in charge before they would even have a white woman. You understand? Because it was about men being superior. It didn't matter what color you were. It was the fact of men being superior, and women were less than goddamn cattle. So I feel like the same way white people know how superior we are and how they have shit flipped and have them in charge. I think men knew how superior women were, and that's why they did the shit they did. The only thing men are superior in most of the time is physical. Y'all stronger. Y'all were built for certain shit. To build, go to war, and gather food.
Yep.
And that's all survival is.
I mean, yes. Y'all were put here to protect us.
That's
and
right.
we were put here to lead.
We were here to run shit.
Okay, that's all right. Okay. But y'all know y'all put the leader out in front when you lead, and that's us. The strength.
That's right. Y'all are. Y'all definitely are. But we're supposed to work together, and no one should be jealous or feel inferior. Because, like, you have your part, and you're supposed to respect that the woman has her part and be okay with it. And I feel like the problem comes into play the same way. The white people know we're superior, but they had to fight it, and they flip shit up. And we just, Lord, we put power in the shit that give them power. Just put it that way.
But
the consciousness of the power we do.
I know, but Mel, we've always had the power in numbers. We've always had the power in knowledge. But it goes back to what they use as an advantage. Like I said, again, putting their foots on our neck, putting our foots on and striking fear in us.
Mm-hmm.
That was their number one thing, to strike fear in us. But if we would have, and like you said earlier, they know who we are. We don't know who they are. But Dr. Bird has some stuff to say. I want to get into that. He said hierarchy always is a problem when it comes to place. They should always be who can handle it best.
Yes, yeah.
And then he said when hierarchy comes into place, it will always be a problem. It should always depend on who can handle it
who
best.
can do it best. So it don't matter.
And then he said to Larry, that's not true. Your last statement, that was a sexist statement.
I'm not sexist in any way, man. Hey, I've always said they got a lot of women out there smarter than all men, and that's 100%. You need us most of the time physically, and that's what you need us for, and that's what you place us in front for.
Yes.
And that is the truth, because I met so many intelligent women, it will just blow your mind how much their mind is better than a man sometimes. And sometimes we always say, oh, women are emotional about everything. Sometimes they can sit back and let that emotion sit aside and really think, and we have to give them their props. And
The
that's the truth.
problem with emotion, when that point is, we are all emotional beings, but somewhere in down the line, we were taught to teach men, don't cry, don't feel. How the hell? That's why they be killing women and shit, because we have told them not to express themselves or feel what they're supposed to feel. We are all born spiritually, emotionally intact. Majority, we got a little European serial killers, but it doubles back to the fact that we have men screwed emotionally, which affects their spiritual connections by telling them, don't cry from a baby, don't cry, don't feel,
But
telling them it's
especially,
weak.
but Mel, especially in our culture, in the African
Yeah.
American culture, we were always taught, like even the men are taught to be strong, the women are taught to be strong. I want to, before I move further, Jennifer said, I think it depends on the relationships that and what works for that couple. I don't want to. She doesn't want to be in control in a relationship.
There you go.
It's
That's
comfort
what I'm saying.
in knowing that her mate will be in control and she can excel and follow.
Mhm.
And I think that's what all women want. We all want to excel. We
Mhm.
want to excel.
Mhm.
Then, because I know I'm
And a
so
partnership is
and
either in control.
Wait. See, now y'all confusing me. Hold on, let me plug
In
this
a
up. Y'all
partnership,
confusing me now. I can't.
in a partnership,
And follow.
neither's in control. Neither's in control. When it's a partnership, I feel is equal.
Oh, I love
Dr.
you.
Bird said, and Bird, I've been saying this from the beginning. I'm talking empowerment, transformation, and advocacy for women in relationships. How does that look in relationships? But I think every time we come on here, we trying to empower women, right? And that's gonna be, and I'm trying to get this lady on here. She's supposed to come next Wednesday. Her name is Boss Up Mommy, and she talks about a lot about healing and how she's going through her healing process and things like that. So she's supposed to come on next Wednesday. But I think as a social worker and not even in the social work realm, we are always trying to empower women and make them feel like, they're like, we are leaders. We don't want anyone out here feeling like we trying to dump on them or make them feel inferior in no type of way or fashion, not even men. But I mean, the truth is the truth. Y'all wasn't meant to lead. Women were meant to lead, and that's just the bottom line. Dr. Bird is like, but we gotta stop talking about relationships from power structures. But the thing is, in today's society, Dr. Bird, the way people think, I think it is a power structure because it's the main reason why, like,
but it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be that way, but it is that way. Like, if I'm making more money than a man, he's feeling inferior. I'm not trying to even
that's what y'all keep saying, but that's not true. I don't think the man feels inferior.
Some do. Some do. Some that's a definite. That's a definite.
That's most men. It may not be true, but it's most men. They literally feel inferior. So
why?
Women, baby, let me tell you, I'm speaking from experience. I'm not just saying this shit to say this. I'm speaking from experience. Even in the cultures, I mean, in a work culture, you can't. When a woman is in charge, it's like
that once the woman is here, she acts like she's here. Is that once she's equal to the salary now, she acts like she's up here? Because I don't think the man really gives a care that she making more money and is going into their household, other than now she is dictating and getting into a different role of power structure that she feels she should be in now, which causes a problem. Because
that has nothing to do with money, though.
That has nothing to do with money.
As a power, a way to empower yourself. Why? Then follow the man 90% of the time when he's making the more money and keep your mouth shut. Because
I don't follow you at all.
But don't use money.
It's not about money. Money has nothing to do with it. But y'all making about money.
He's talking about the characteristic of men who choose that financial structure, because that's how it's always been. We come from a society where women couldn't even work. They couldn't make their own money. So that structure has always been men having the most or having money, period. When could women even open a banking account on their own, credit cards on their own? So that's why finances has always been this structure of man, like, yeah, I'm in charge. I'm the one who can do this. I'm the one who makes the most money. I always had that. We're living in a society now where women are making more money a lot of times.
I guess
in our
if all the money goes into one pot, who gives a care who made it? Let's put blindness on the
That's real. That's real. That's how it's supposed to be. It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't. But
there is an equalness there.
The culture we come, the society, we can't hear you.
Oh, there you go.
Y'all can hear me now?
Yeah.
My thing lagging again. Maybe it's my Wi-Fi. Look, real quick, because I know we only got like 5 more minutes, if that. I just want to get one last thing in from which I was saying, but this probably gonna lead to next week episode because I know we ain't gonna have time to get in. But we sat up here, from my memory, I don't know if it's the last episode or the episode before, and even a little bit in this episode, we'll talk about how for a woman, one of their requirements or standards was a man making X amount of dollars. So, but to come here and then say, well, when it's not about money, it really is, because when you do look at these surveys, these studies, when you watch these shows with the pop the balloon, that's what the women are, that's what they looking for. And not only are they looking for that, they're looking for the man to make almost 2 to 3 times more than them. So let's be real. Like I said, our feelings is one thing. We could say this is how it's supposed to be, how we want it to be. But once again, reality, and we have the evidence from observations, from people that we know, from the shows we watch, from these studies. That's just not reality. And I have to live in reality. And reality tells me if this is what a woman wants or will most likely want, I have to go out as a man to do my best to try to fit that criteria. Right? And then once again, the reality is once a man fits that criteria, he's like, shit, I was just trying to get this one chick. Now I got
Dr. Bird said the perfect thing. This is what he said. We all should be looking for love, security, support, warmth, and comfort. Security is that financial piece. And the thing about it's not about it is security. It's our partnership and everything.
She get the word love and went straight to security, didn't she?
But the thing about love is the two main reasons why people get divorced, baby. I work in a law office. Love is security.
I don't care how much.
It's not about all of y'all making it about.
It ain't about love like the song said. What love got to do with it? Nothing.
I don't care how much a man makes.
It's not about the money. It's not about the money at all. What I'm saying is,
once again,
if my husband makes $45,000 a year, and I make $80,000 a year. First of all, when I met this person, it's supposed to be about love, about our lives, going there with each other. That's what it's all about. That's building that bond. That bond where we should be making things materialize as our family, our household. If we want to become homeowners, things that we invest in together, the things that we pour into each other. When I can't go to work in the morning.
Once again.
It's all about if I can't get up and make breakfast, my husband is making breakfast for the children. It's about being equally yoked. If he's at the store, I'm at the store, and he's calling me saying, hey, this is what I need. Babe, I'm at the store. I'm getting ready to buy X, Y, and Z. Being considerate. This is what I call controlling, because I had somebody that was controlling. This thing would make all the plans for us to do everything. Even on dates, I never knew where the fuck I was going. Like, you don't even know if I even like this place, because it's somewhere you want to try. You're going to pick me up and you're going to bring me there. You disrespect the fact I don't eat beef and pork. You're going to bring me to somewhere that sells nothing but beef and pork and then try to force me to eat something beef.
That was a control factor. That was, that was that and not respecting.
Exactly.
For me, I don't care what a man makes, because my personality, I'm all about being self-sufficient myself. So I can't live off of a man. I don't want to. Yes, you can add in, you can bring what you bring, but I've always been self-sufficient. So I don't even know what it looks like for me to say living off of a man, or he has to make this amount. That never comes across. Now, when we go into other categories, or we talk about millionaires and billionaires, yeah, that's a different story. But if we talk about everyday living life, that ain't it. It's just,
that's just not it.
It's about us loving each other,
So
being partners, and being matched for each other.
Yeah, I want to read the comments, Mel, because I know we have to be more time efficient, and I think it'll be better if I come back from 7 to 8, because look like more people jump on with comments in between that time. So next Wednesday, I'm gonna come back at 7 o'clock, y'all, because at 6:30 we wind up going to 8 o'clock anyway with the discussions. So that'll give y'all. But I do want to acknowledge everyone's comments. So Dr. Bird said, if this, in case y'all didn't read the comments, we can both be broke, but we could never be broke in love or comfort. And that is so true. He said so much. Y'all can go back and read
He said some stuff about being self-sufficient. Self-sufficient is being whole. You need to be whole before you enter into a partnership. That doesn't self-sufficient doesn't mean I don't need somebody or I don't want somebody, but I need to be self-sufficient, being able to take care of myself and do the things I need to do, because I'm not supposed to be a burden on my partner. We're supposed to be equal, and we're supposed to be able to join together as one for betterment for both of us. So self-sufficient is not saying, because he said something about being self-sufficient is a problem. No, that ain't it.
No, self-sufficient, I don't think that's a problem at all, because the thing of it is, I don't want to be just rich with my partner during tax season. We want to be rich all the time together. I don't want to just take trips during tax season. I don't want to just buy the things I like during tax season. All year long, we should be celebrating each other. And that means I should be able to provide for my mate, vice versa. He should be.
Exactly. And self-sufficient doesn't necessarily, it's not just, even though we were talking about finances, but that's not just finances.
It's not. It's pouring into each other. Like I said, just being the simple fact of being considerate. If he's at the grocery store and he's calling me, let me know that he's at the grocery store and picking up things, that, being considerate, calling home and say, hey, babe, do you need anything? Do you want anything? Just being considerate, giving me love and affection, nurturing me as I nurture you, because as humans, we naturally thrive off of nurturing each other. It's just like watering a plant and nursing your plant. As humans, we thrive off of that. And when we come into situations where when competition, or we have to over-sexualize ourselves for our partners, or we have to overcompensate for our partners by extremely spoiling them and giving them money just because we want to be in control, and the female feeling like she always has to be in competition, that's not being equally yoked.
No, not at all.
In a relationship and supporting each other is supposed to naturally flow. It's not supposed to be where one person feels like they're in competition. And I definitely don't want somebody cheating on me, because men use the excuse, I'm cheating because the woman offered. But you're supposed to have enough self-control not to cheat on the person that you care about. And if you cheating, then it's not about that person, it's about you, and you're not in love with that person. And if anybody out there is with someone that is cheating on them, it's not because it's being offered to them, because I'm gonna tell you right now, I ain't offering shit. And every day I get propositions on how I could give massages and all this kind of shit to boost somebody's ego, and I ain't here for it. I'm just letting you know, because first of all, I got an ego as well, and I need my ego boosted. And when it comes to boosting the egos of a female's ego, you have to do more than just but I'm gonna say this: what you start doing in the beginning, you have to know how to maintain that shit. Don't just do things to get me, and then when you get me, then it stops, or you're incapable of providing for me. And then when I start pulling away from you, then you use the very same thing, then you start doing for me again. That's not love. That's not an equally yoked relationship. That's a Negro trying to be in control.
And like you were saying on the concept of, no, you can't love someone and cheat on them, because that's a selfish act. You're not loving someone is not being selfish. That's selfless. That's what loving someone is. And it's a choice. Everyone has a choice, because women get shit thrown at them the same way men do. So at the end of the day, you choose what you do based on how you honor and respect the person you're with. That's just it.
That's just it. That's the bottom line. And on that note, like I said, next week I'm gonna go back to doing 7 to 8 o'clock, because I see that my people wind down at 7 o'clock, because I know y'all in a hustle and bustle of being at work, trying to get home, cook your dinner and stuff like that. I have not eaten, but I just want to thank everybody for joining us for another Wind Down Wednesday with Keisha. And again, my wine of the day was Coppola. Is a red Cabernet Sauvignon. Is about $20. And you can find it at your any winery, wherever you buy wines at. And I just want y'all to reflect on some of the things that we were saying tonight. And next week, I'm trying to move towards us having people to call in, so you guys can call in. So I'm exploring that with the WhatsApp on how to connect that to StreamYard. So hopefully by next week, I'll have that figured out, and you guys can actually call in and give your I feel the believes. But until then, tune in next Wednesday at on Instagram and YouTube at KPR Productions LLC, and don't forget to subscribe and like. And your feedback is always important. I appreciate y'all, and I'll see y'all next Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Good night.